So what does child sacrifice, sinkholes and ancient civilizations have in common? You guessed it, the place we'll be visiting today. Cenotes have an unusual history that most tourists are not aware of when visiting. We are Vilde and Nemanja, a couple from Norway that started traveling the world together in January of this year. So far, we've traveled to the USA, Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil. And despite a lot of COVID tests, we've still loved every minute of traveling so far. So let's rewind. In the last episode, we flew from Brazil to Mexico. We had a pretty standard travel day, except for some heavy turbulence as we were flying into Cancun. We are now in Tulum at this amazing all-inclusive resort, where Nemanja will attend a meetup with the company he works at called Safetywing, where he's working as a software engineer. Since the whole company is working remote, this is the first time he will meet all of his colleagues in person after 2 months of working there. Today we will go on an excursion to visit a few cenotes not far from our hotel. A cenote is basically a deep sinkhole with water at the bottom, that typically comes from rainwater or groundwater. The Yucatan Peninsula is packed with cenotes and there are over 6,000 of them in Mexico alone. Thank you.
Just give it 10 minutes, guys. We'll get back in the bus.
Leo, Papi Chulo, Louis, Nepe. Alright guys, now,
What you're more excited about?
since there's like 100 of you guys, you're gonna be divided in 4 groups. Mine, Papi Chulos, Luis, and Nepes. We're gonna divide ourselves that way so we can properly traverse the cenotes and do all the activities, guys. Now, choose your weapons.
Look at all these vloggers, man. All the vloggers came out here to get away from all of this.
In Mayan culture, the cenotes are sacred, and before we entered the cenotes, we were a part of a Mayan ceremony where we were all blessed, protected, and asked the gods for permission to enter.
How's the water, everybody? It's not that bad. It's not that bad. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on, Brennan. Come on, Brennan.
Come on!
All right. Oh.
Let's go. I see the faces.
It's faster. It's less painful that way.
How's everybody doing? Come on, you guys.
Where is the man with the suit? He's super explorer. The best
There's a bat. No. It's warm, but it came from down there.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
This one is my favorite. Bring your cameras.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
More people, the better. Come on in. You'll never take.
Oh, this is a good
Oh, yeah, we got it.
Right? Yeah.
The ancient Mayans believed that the rain god resided in the cenotes. It is thought that human sacrifices were made to thank the gods for the gift of water or to request it. That is why certain cenotes contain a large number of human remains. Many young victims were aged 6 to 12 and were often male, and some were also brought up as sacrifices from birth. There are of course no human remains in the cenotes people visit today, but this one in particular where I stand right now was the place that they sacrificed young children once upon a time. At least that's what we were told. There are bats here, like actual bats. If you can see it on the camera.
What do you think?
Louis the best.
Oh, there's another bat.
Still the best?
All the bats. Maybe we become Batman. Yes. I mean, worst case, we just get some deadly virus and.
It is surreal to think about what this is, how it was formed, and the fact that we get to experience being here, let alone swimming in these surroundings. With that said, a lot of the cenotes, including this one, has been commercialized in Mexico, but most places, such as the one we visited today, make sure to protect and preserve the cenotes. People are required to shower before entering, not wearing sunscreen, no food and water is allowed, but with the growing demand and ignorance from tourists, it is becoming more difficult. So if you do visit one, make sure it's one that is ran sustainably and that you leave the cenote the way you found it. At this park in particular, you could also rappel down into a cenote. You got secured and then sent down, and it was pretty popular. And then it was Nemanja's turn.
Dos manos al frente, media vuelta. No, aquí. Sí, aquí. Y las dos manos al frente. Abre las piernas, dobla las.
During our days here at the hotel, we didn't do much, to be honest. You could often find me just laying on a sunbed by the beach and Nemanja having workshop with Safetywing in the conference hall. So right now I'm heading towards the spa and I wanted to treat myself with spa treatment, which I have never done in my entire life, so that's gonna be really nice, hopefully. So yeah, I'm excited for that. It's about time, almost 29 years old, so I think being in Mexico and at this resort, it's time. We had a few nice dinners we really enjoyed, and a beach party that was so fun with good margaritas and such a beautiful sunset. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.